Alrighty. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the BNR Xfinity Series Playoff Round 2, race number 3. Last race before these drivers get locked into their race to hit the Final Four. Alongside of me tonight is good old Chris and good old Will. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, Brian. Well,
Yes, good evening, Chris and Brian. How are we this evening?
We are doing quite swell, thank you. Fortunately, we head to Atlanta here, the newer version of Atlanta. The old one's a little bit better, but they keep up to date with the actual races of today. So a lot of animosity is going to be out here tonight with that last spot on the line. Well, a couple spots on the line, really. Who gets in, who gets out. So, Will, why don't you go ahead and give us a thorough rundown of Atlanta and the background history of it.
Oh, yes, originally Atlanta Motor Speedway first held races here in the early 1960s, 62, I want to say, I believe, was the first race held here. Also, supporting series, I want to say the open top convertible Oldsmobile series as well. Anywho, that lasted, that was a brief touring series that went along with the Grand National Touring Series of NASCAR, what is known as the Cup Series. Anywho, Richard Petty has a handful of wins in that division, but it's not really mentioned any much anymore. Anyway, back to Atlanta. It was originally configured as basically, if anyone knows what Homestead Miami looks like, picture Homestead Miami in your head. Now, the modern Homestead Miami configuration, and that was Atlanta for so many years and decades, and then 97, I believe it was, 98, I think it was 97, track configuration to the layout of which you see now, and then a couple of years ago, this super speedway style embankment increased a couple of more degrees from what it was to what it is now, and also just a track resurface as well. So lots of good fond memories of races being held here. The famous, I want to say it was the what year was it? The '92 Winston Cup Series being decided between, at the time, 5 different drivers. Alan Kowicki drives away with the championship that day. The photo finishes back-to-back years between Bobby Labonte and Dale Earnhardt. Then the next year, Kevin Harvick and Jeff Gordon having iconic photo finishes here. This track is just known for some great racing. Carl Edwards and Jimmy Johnson had another notable finish here. Tony Stewart and Jimmy Johnson had a really good finish here one year as well, just to name a couple more. But yeah, Atlanta always seems to provide some normally really great racing side by side for the most part, or just can be good photo finish races. If you can get good enough run, match the person on either side of you coming to the stripe. So, brief rundown of Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Yes, sir, indeed, Will. Thank you for that awesome knowledge here. It is much appreciated. But Every position counts. As you see there, will Philip Bridgman jump to the top of the board as qualifying will come to an end. But I'm going to go over a little race information here. So as you see here, we're in Atlanta. A mile and a half. The current weather is 83 degrees. It is 46% humidity, partly cloudy, with a 5-mile-per-hour wind. It is playoff round 2, race 3. You get 75% fuel, 4 sets of tires, and 1 quick fix. Now I'll go over the starting grid here. So P1 will be Philip Bridgman. P2 will be Brandon Moore. P3 will be Josh Small. P4 will be Sammy Archibald. P5 will be Richard Johns. P6 will be Sean Judson. P7 will be George Rincon. P8 will be Chris Campbell. P9 will be Bradford. P10 will be Joe Stipe. P11 will be Mark. This is what I'm getting at here. So 163 laps. Here tonight, so will be a interesting fight here. But unfortunately,
42.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say 42 to 47 laps on a full tank this evening, depending on how hard you're going to be pushing on that throttle pedal. So that'll come into play tonight. We do suspect, like you said, 163 laps. That's 250 miles, I do believe, Brian. So
yes, sir. So Twitch is a little bit more closer to on point with the broadcast. So those who are watching Twitch is pretty well good. So a little bit on point here. So by a little bit, not much. A slight delay, maybe just about, maybe. So I see a pace car rolls off. Philip Bridgman is going to lead the field to the start. Good pole. Additional point for Philip, I do believe. So, well, could this possibly be the race that Bridgman can win for something to go in his favor?
Well, ever since Atlanta has went to this type of configuration in different series and different leagues in the past, Bridgman has been quite notable and strong here. So, qualified on the pole, he is probably looking to try to stay out front as much as possible tonight and secure him a spot in that Final Four.
Yes, sir, indeed. As you see here, the pace car is going to lead these drivers through turns 3 and 4. 163 laps, now a little bit smaller field, but we have a great addition coming to the BNR broadcast on Thursday, so it's going to be a great view to see. We'll keep you all posted with that. But, well, here we go as these drivers take the green flag. Going into turns 1 and 2. Yeah, this time I can say it. Philip Bridgman hanging strong on the bottom. There. Oh, Brandon Moore, Sammy Archibald. Judson all on the outside, Chris Campbell.
Don't know if Brandon was just kind of caught sleeping on that initial get up and go off that initial start, but he surely wasn't really alongside on the initial drop of the green flag. So trying to find a way in on the bottom, it looked like wasn't clear about the pad coming together with, is that Archibald?
Yes.
No, that is Richard. Him and Richard, I believe, had about it coming together. So,
Just as we say that, Philip is getting janky here. Very unfortunate for Phil. As Sammy looks to make the pass on the outside lane on Judson there. You see Philip staying high, trying to stay out the way. As they go 3 wide down the backstretch, boys.
Well, it looks like Philip at the moment just trying to stay out the way. Still long ways to go. Lots of laps to log, so sometimes the internet connection will strengthen the more laps you can turn. Sometimes at the beginning of these races you will kind of sometimes blink here and there.
You see Richard jumps out of line and heads to the back. As Josh Small will lead the field going into this turn. In that 28 Ford.
Archibald blinking as well here and there. So at the moment, bottom lane seems to be the lane to be in. Of course, it has the more cars in the bottom, so going to be more productive.
Oh yeah. As you see there, Joe Stipe fell off about 2 1/4.
Yeah, it seems like Richard wanted to kind of just backpedal and get away from the pack as well. Maybe thinking a wreck was going to happen. He didn't want to be a part of it, so anything is possible in the early goings of these speedway races. And then sometimes, you know, especially if you're not going to have, unfortunately, that many drivers partake in this event, so everybody might just be extra easy. Hey, you know, you're only going to really walk away with the top 10, it looks like, at the end of the day, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of not so many fans of the new Atlanta. But it happens. There's not a lot of us at home that watch the race anyway. When it transitioned over to new Atlanta, we were all iffy about how the new configuration will turn out, and you see how it's turning out here. But Josh Small hanging strong on that outside.
Yeah, he'll probably fall in line behind Bradford there in the 41 once everybody gets clear on the bottom, possibly if that door of opportunity is still available. Holding strong at the moment. Oh, almost got in front of Bradford.
Oh yeah.
So now Archibald in the lead with Brandon Moore in second.
Josh almost slid the rear end of that car.
Judson making an appearance here tonight, riding in third position.
see that Philip Richmond gets behind the 41 of Bradford, looking to move him a little bit forward instead of being side by side with Josh Small. Josh Small and Bradford going at it.
The small group of drivers, I would say, that's here this evening, Brian, it would be almost difficult to trust one another. You try to build up a run or a pairing, because that seems like what might have to work this evening. But who can you trust? Who can you work with the best? And like what I think we're about to say, like if you can get as many points as possible, every point can matter. Trying to be that, especially that fourth driver. We know that I do believe two drivers possibly locked in off of wins are not sure how it's looking at the moment, but you know what I mean. Every point can matter and get you to that position. Oh, contact being made. They're trying to scatter. Looks like Judson was pinched into the wall when they became 3 wide going into the front straightaway.
Yep.
Seems like everybody's trying to sort it out now.
Not too much of a damage to that 19 machine there. Maybe a little cosmetic, if anything. That's just about it. See Campbell drops down there, out from behind Josh. As now Campbell looks to get the toe from either Philip or Richard.
Philip getting in line behind the Bradford Moore pairing. Richard, I think, might have tried to drag the wall down there coming out of turn number 2.
That is possibly what it looks like, but now Sammy's the lone wolf on the outside. Well, Philip is going to dive out there in help Sammy. He also has Rincon out there too as well. Boy, Rincon's behind the 2 blinkers there, so it's going to be a little harder for him. Almost 3 wide there, but Josh checked up to let Campbell get in line as they head into turns 1 and 2.
Brandon trying to control both lanes of traffic as a run was forming on the outside lane.
But that is probably going to hurt him a little bit. As you see there, Bradford getting the air taken off his quarter there, which stalls out him and Phillip and that whole inside line there, which gives the clear passageway, Will and Chris, to Brandon Moore and Sammy Archibald.
Looks like that bottom line's trying to form up, with the top's breaking away. Now they're going to be seeing who's going to be making a line, if they're going to be doing on the top, bottom. More in control of this one right now.
Well, if I'm Rincon, I don't know what lane to go with, because it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't at this time there with, I hate saying it, but with Phillip and Sammy. But you see there, Brandon's getting sucked out. Judson up in the wall.
Oh, we got in the wall. Judson slamming the wall coming out of 2. Looks like he's got a decent amount of damage on his right side now.
Well, Will and Chris, Brandon, unfortunately, is now drifting away. Maybe because he was the lone wolf left hung out on the outside, which does happen on these type of forms of racing on super speedway. If they don't trust you, then they won't kind of be there with you, or haven't raced enough around you to get comfortable.
And that's kind of what I was alluding to earlier about, like, who can you trust? Who can you find out there to partner up with in this race? Because, you know, there is pretty much only 10 drivers out there at this moment, so.
It is in even numbers, so if you find that one you're good with drafting, stick with it, and then everybody else can find their tango partners. So it looks like, Bradford gets
41.
loose. That is probably going to hurt a little bit, not too much. So that was almost costly mistake there by Sammy. Well, boys, we got Phillip back up in the lead.
Well, earlier in the season, if we can remember right, there were a couple of cautions for some self-spins about halfway through a run. You would see, just like what we saw happen with Bradford, the car just kind of juke into the corner with you or on you, and almost one of those kind of hospital hops that you can't recover from, but luckily Bradford able to catch it. So,
well, boys, I do believe Richard did fall back to get Bradford, so those two are going to try to tango their way up to the back of the 29 to the best that they can.
Oh, and John's loose. Gets down the apron.
That's a pretty tremendous save by Richard there.
Yeah, when you get down on that white line might as well, I guess red line in this case, might as well just be ice. It's like when you hit that.
Yeah, you never want to have your tires, it doesn't matter if it's a road car or
here we go, boys.
Even race car, on paint for too long, because it'll help you turn a bit too good.
Rick Stipes was trying to get on the pit road and had a bit of an error there, but he is on pit road now.
Oh yeah.
Campbell in the lead, being pushed momentarily by Brandon Moore. So 4-car breakaway at the moment.
Yep, Campbell, Moore, Bridgman, Rincon. As Phillip is going to go with Campbell. You see Phillip getting ever so slightly loose to the outside lane. As you see there, Phillip, it's loose. What a save.
Well, now it's down to 3 cars up in the front of this field. You want to try to stick it out as long as you can. Oh, no. One can only imagine, unless we rewind it here, that Campbell got loose in front of Moore. Oh, that's exactly what happened there.
Sounds like Campbell got a little bit loose.
It is very tricky, especially trying to hang strong on that outside with getting the push going into the turn. Which can cause the air to be taken off of the back of that machine. You see here Judson, Johns, Smalls, and Phillip.
Well, just not that, but do you think also maybe perhaps these drivers have a bit too much wheel lock in their steering?
That is a possibility. Or maybe a little bit too much offset. That can be too. So
Yeah, yes.
there goes Phillip again. Extra loosage.
Also, how hot is the track? Could be another thing. The track temperature could be another thing catching these drivers out.
129 degrees.
For the track temperature?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Well then.
Yeah, it's extra hot out there on that track.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not in one of these cars on this racetrack. That'd be something else, Brian.
Yes. Extra slick. Hard to maintain, but these boys got it.
Well, that is could be a good reason. What, Chris?
I was just commenting on your track temp, 129. That's insane. Very hot track.
Isn't it though?
You throw some eggs on there, they come up.
Well, you boys are going to have an interesting show on Saturday when we head to Gateway. So,
Gateway.
oh yeah.
I'm glad I'm not out on the track for that one. Gateway is the bane of my existence, and I just can't seem to get away from it.
Yeah. Well, boys, these four are now lining up. They are going to do everything in their God Almighty to run down Rincon and more.
Well, they're 6.5 seconds back.
Yep, Bradford, Josh, Judson, and Campbell.
Seems like scheduled pit stops in about 8 to 10 laps. So that to be on the lookout for.
Oh yeah. You see Bradford getting hung out there, so it's going to allow Josh to go to the inside. Or try to get it, but he had a little slip up on that bottom lane, which kept Bradford still ahead of him, but Bradford's going to lose it right there. Oh, and so is Josh. And Judson's back in the wall.
That's only the third time that car has been on the wall. I'm sure it's got at least 6 more lives.
Wow, that was some mini mayhem we had there for a second.
Oh yeah. That's the one thing about these Xfinity cars on a hot track. My only observation is that maybe too much offset in the car. Because iRacing likes to start you off with a lot.
Is there no way you could turn the track temp down really quick, or?
No.
Oh no.
Turn the night on. That's how you do it. Well,
I was going to say, yeah. If this was going into a transition race, but unfortunately, iRacing hasn't updated Atlanta yet, which I'm sure in the next update they will be able to put the lights on here. So
I sure hope so. But we got a
Yeah.
couple of green flag pit stops. Rick
Yep.
Smalls and
Bradford.
Bradford, thank you.
So coming in just a few laps early, but that's to be expected after the slidiness we saw unfolding, which, you know, at this moment in time, that, hey, why not go ahead and come in and pit a little bit sooner? Maybe the leaders might decide to run it longer, so that means that you might be able to run down some time on the leaders that could be a slipping and a sliding, but able to hold it out longer.
Oh yeah.
Goodness.
So Josh and Bradford are going to get linked back up. As we see here, Campbell, Judson.
Yeah, they probably have a few more laps to go still.
Oh yeah. So I say Brandon.
Wonder if
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I wonder if Moore and Rincon have decided to work together, if they're going to pit together, or maybe Brandon thinks, you know, hey, I may have a good enough lead over the rest of everybody, you know, kind of decide to do his own thing.
Oh yeah.
You always kind of would like somebody to pit with you. That's why I said earlier about trying to find somebody who you could work with. Looks like Philip is in the pits, I do believe.
Yes.
Or he might have missed him. I'm not too sure.
So Bradford and Rincon there, you see that little gap in between those two there. Oh! I guess Campbell's going to say, okay, I'm coming in the pits now. Extra hot track.
It's like another one of those cases of possibly just being too close in the corners while giving assistance, like pushing, per se, and just hitting that car in front of you sideways.
It did drop 3 degrees, so...
Wow, that is such a big help.
Hey, I'm just saying. I'm sure the tires not liking it. But
You almost expect to see more Rincon in this lap. Lap 47. So if they can stretch it and go a little bit further, I would not be surprised. They have done that before in previous races or events, but and it looks like they're going to.
So you see there, Chris and Will, Campbell gets in between these two, which when it comes time to pit, they're going to split them up a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit. You see there a half a second back from Brandon. Could Campbell get to the rear of that 47 machine? Attempt to take some air off of the quarter of that 47, but as you see here, Richard Johns is now in the pits.
Well,
Keeping,
Christopher Campbell, 2 laps down, unfortunately. He's just kind of stuck where he's at. I know he's got fresher tires than these 2 leaders, but still have to mind your P's and Q's at the moment. I wouldn't get too racy.
indeed, Will. But as you see here, Philip Bridgman getting by Rincon. Rincon's like, all right, bud, go ahead. You pitted already. I'm still on old tires. No need to hold you up. So you see that Rincon is losing a little bit of time. As Campbell and Phillip are side by side.
Not a battle for position, just one has a bit better tire at the moment than the other, I guess you could say, or just a better handling on their car.
Phillip.
Yeah. These leaders now getting to lap 50. Judson being included in that, so he has not pit yet either.
But I think here Brandon is going to be pitting this time, as Rincon is probably looking to stay out an additional lap. Yes, you see there Brandon Moore is making his first pit stop of the night.
From Sean Judson as well.
Yep. Rincon is now going to make his pit. Oh! Contact, big, by Campbell and Phillip.
And not gonna have yellow.
Nope, they're off track. iRacing won't throw it if they're off track. Real life, yes, they would have thrown it. iRacing, no. Very hurtful for Campbell and Phillip, for sure.
Oh, you know, it looks like I think Bridgman was expecting Campbell to like cut the dog leg out of the red line, and that's just not what he was going to do.
Nope. You see here Josh and Aaron Bradford. Looking to close the ever so slightly gap in on Rincon and Brandon. But you see here Richard gets caught up to Brandon and Rincon. So they shall have that 3-car shindig going on. As Bradford and Small, the only 2 cars there, so. First cycle underway.
Richard Johns currently 1 lap down in that 10 car. If there was to pass another car or, you know, caution comes out, he is the first car 1 lap down at the moment. So 3-car train out front. 3rd car in line is a lap down. Rincon, I guess you could say, took the lead over during the exchange of green flag cycle pit stops. They were able to go 53 laps in total. By the time it shaked out, everybody's still kind of back to where they started. Judson even lost a second during the sequence. Bradford and Small still 11 seconds back.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit more than 2 cars, Will and Chris, to run down these top 3 right here. Well, top 2 and a lapper. Next one lap down is Joe, but I'm not too sure where Joe is out on track, but we can go ahead and find out. Looks like he's coming out of 1 and 2, okay, so as it is a little gloomy out.
Well, that'll cool it down a bit.
Yep.
Approaching 100 laps to go as well.
Yeah, 123 degrees track temp. Oh, we dropped another degree, so the track is ever so slightly starting to cool down a little bit. Hopefully Myers set it up right to where this race don't go on tonight, because they ain't going to be able to see nothing if that's the case. So I think they
Well,
should
let's
be
hope
right.
not. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And at the rate that they're going, I mean, we've already ran 60 laps. You know, the pace that the front 2 are setting. Bradford and Small, whoever third car, Campbell could possibly be with them. They've actually reeled in the front 2 by about 2 seconds now in the past 8 laps. As it could just be themselves just slingshotting one another. As we get back here and find out, looks like that's what is going on. Pretty good tactic, you know. If that's what helps, then hey.
Yeah, if that's the way to gain some time, then that's the way to do it, so.
They lost a second, though, in that swapping exchange, so gonna have to find that back. Next cycle of pit stop should start occurring lap 96 to about 103.
Yep. As you see, Richard John's going to go underneath Brandon Moore. And try to get on by those two, but it is not going to work. Richard's going to have to settle to be that, maybe. Nope. There you go. It's amazing what a single car can do here on the bottom lane. Well, the bottom lane is a little bit more quicker than the outside lane, at least in 1 and 2. 3 and 4, it's iffy. It really all depends. Richard, not clear. As you see there, he was going to slide up in front of Rincon there.
I've got to remember, though, this is still just a battle to get back on the lead lap. The final car 1 lap down. That would put 6, a total a lead lap.
As Richard trying everything in his God Almighty to get by that 29. He's probably saying, all right, let me get my lap back. So if I do remember, he did come in a little bit earlier than the leader, so
Yes.
whenever he pits, and if he does go down another lap, he will unfortunately be 2 laps down. So right now, Rincon and Brandon Moore setting the pace. For a lap car, I think Richard's doing quite swell. Keeping it ever so slightly close to the leaders there. Not letting them run away too much, but just enough.
Yeah, just imagine what Richard could do if he could have a caution and get his lap back for sure. You know, he is putting up a good fight, contesting it, and if so happen, could be just lucky enough to get the caution when he's edging out ahead of the race leader.
That'd be the case if there were to be a caution right now, say. Stipe would get his lap back.
Oh yeah. If Richard can ever so slightly clear himself from the leader.
Well, I mean, at that very second, the pylon said his nose was ahead.
Yeah.
But,
He always gets that run out of 3 and 4, but then they end up pulling it back, going into 1 and 2. So guys, this backpack here, and Josh is fading. How ironic. Judson's going to get by to take P3 away. Now Bradford's going to...
Ooh, Bradford hit the wall.
Oh yeah, he did. He made a little lovey-dovey to that wall there.
Scrape, scrape.
Yeah, so now you see Joe Stipe.
Oh, Bradford's going around.
Okay.
Saves it.
That is probably going to hurt for sure.
Not only him, but Small as well. Not as much, but for Small, I mean.
Smalls. We all call them Smalls. But it's small.
Small Z.
Yes. Oh, schmutz. But Will Judson is going to try to link up with Campbell to get up to, well, at least that top hat. As someone else loses it down there, Joe Stipe.
Yeah, Judson's only 10 seconds back, 10 and a quarter, so seems like third place is not the place to be in this race.
No, it's not.
Something, yep, Joe. It turned too good for Joe right then there at that moment. It just, it said, oh, you wanted to go left, did you? I'll show you left.
Yeah. Well, the track temp did come back up 2 degrees, so now they're back to 125. So. Like right there, Richard can get clear, and then.
I was going to say, scheduled pit stop for Joe. Joe's back in the pits, especially after that moment he had, so that's somewhat scheduled for him. Get kind of towards the after the medium part in the run. Have a moment. All right, time for a new pair of shoes. I would just hate to imagine what it feels like out here in one of these Xfinity cars this evening. How slick it is, it seems like.
It'll probably be a handful, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, it looks like it.
If I was Richard, I just would have stood up to the top, even though I cleared my own self. Because then you could have gathered that extra caboose. Oh no! Richard gets loose.
All he had to do was crank it back hard to the right. We might have had a caution. I don't support doing that, but I'm just saying, you know,
back to a two-car drifter show again. $77 of 163 complete.
Watching that save again, that was a good save by Richard. All these saves tonight have been a heck of a save.
Oh yeah, besides, unfortunately, the two that went through the grass. But still kept it going. Nothing less. So...
Yeah, you just be thankful I'm not a race director.
That would have been in caution. Well, same thing in NASCAR. That would have been in caution. So, yeah, I don't know. iRacing is very weird when
just
it comes to
thankful.
cautions.
I would sometimes have an itchy trigger finger.
So you see here, Joe Stipe, Bradford, Josh.
Judson's really been eating out that lead.
There he is, ever so slightly.
Oh man, racing is very, I said another bad thing again. Man. Anywho, well, we won't go back to it. Anyway, we'll find a substitute for it that sounds better later.
How that smoke came out of Stipe's car or Josh's?
They're both a Ford. It's going to blow up eventually, right?
Yeah, eventually.
I mean, it...
Well, all three of them were Fords right there.
Oh, no. I'm just saying, you know, like, some people give a lot of stick to Fords.
Yep.
They're okay. I mean, it's a vehicle. Get you from, you know, A to B to C to D to where you gotta go, I suppose.
Nope, they should be closing in on the next cycle of pits. Next handful of laps here.
Yeah, we got about 15 laps, I believe, till we're there for at least the top 5.
But Richard, ever so slightly closing in that tug again from Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon said he was just going to ride around this race, hopefully ride in the back. We really didn't have a back to ride in. So, I guess second place is riding in the back.
Yes.
So, him and Rincon was able to mind their P's and Q's once everybody started slip sliding, thinking they were taking a bath. They obviously knew that they weren't, so they were able to, I don't want to say have traction control, but have a better traction, a better feel for the track than their fellow 8 or so competitors this evening. Very hot track, over 120 degrees this evening here at Atlanta. I even think if it was old Atlanta, we would still see this type of separation. It would probably still come down to 1 or 2 people, and because think about it.
It was almost hitting track temp of 130, ever so slightly.
Oh my goodness!
Yes.
Wow.
We're finding more just not hooking up very well, because I see John's like fall way back, and then all of a sudden he's closing in again, but now he's falling back a bit. Is it just maybe they're just not connecting? I mean, because he's on his own back there. It's kind of weird that he'd be able to catch him at all.
Well,
I think the pace that Rincon and Moore is setting are making sure that they can hit a certain fuel window that they have hit prior. And if they can extend that another lap or so, they can. So maybe that's why we've seen the lead fluctuate, because now it's back over 10 seconds to 3rd place. And I don't think Brandon's wanting to be too egregious in the corners as well, pushing Rincon. They have a real good buffer over the rest of the field. No need to take any chances, any risk.
that is very true. Josh Small P4, Bradford a little bit behind him.
Yeah, they're really aiming for a top 5 finish, it looks like, out of remainders, whatever word I'm trying to put there, I guess. Anyway, finish the sentence. I'm still working on it. But, yeah, Bradford looked like he was really able to try to hold a good line, then every now and again his car gets a little bit swirly. So it seems a bit unpredictable there for his car handling. Can't quite
takers. So it was Judson, Bradford, I believe Small's on his way in. I just heard on the radio. Sorry about that, Will. I was trying to cut you off.
Oh, you're good. Appreciate it. Yeah, Bradford and Josh, they pitted this time 40 laps ago, so yes.
Yeah, they did. Track temp is now down to 121 degrees. So you figure from 129 down to 121. But I know Brandon Moore would come in before Rincon, because Rincon was able to, well, I don't know, because now Rincon's been in the front, so he's really not saving anything to last. So Brandon might stay out that extra lap this time. Oh, the sun's back. That track temp's gonna rise again.
Looks like some drivers are going to be about 20 laps short, others maybe 10 laps short on gas. Ooh. Josh and Aaron playing dodgeball with one another, it looked like back there for a moment.
Yep. See here, Josh is going to try to get one of his laps back. Same thing with Bradford there. Try.
Yes, that would only put them 2 laps down. One lap down. 1 lap down, my apologies.
Now you see here, Rincon can possibly save a little bit of fuel, not so much, but a little bit. I didn't know we are well over halfway for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So, oh,
I believe 83 or 87 was halfway.
yeah,
I expect the 29 and 47 machines to stay out at least lap 101 to 103.
yeah. Oh, you see Bradford sliding up, maybe a hair. And Rincon and more like, oof, you got 2 lappers duking it out. Where do we go? We ain't got much room.
Yeah, Rincon and Moore are the only 2 cars, only 2 competitors on the lead lap currently. They currently have the rest of the field lapped 1 or more laps down.
As this battle for 4th place heats up between Josh and Bradford. And then Brandon Moore and Rincon just pacing themselves here.
Christopher Kendall brings his 68 machine into the pits for his scheduled pit stop.
Well, we saw the last time Bradford went to the outside, the rear of the car didn't like it too much. So, but he knew Josh was going to pull up, so he captured that run going into turns 3 and 4. Attempts to get cleared by, he does, he's all clear. Now Josh is going to hang strong in Bradford's draft.
Remind me again, Will, what was the pit window for fuel?
It was originally, I got told 47 laps, so I kind of adjusted for, I guess you want to say, inflation, to 42 to 47 initially. We have seen some drivers meet that 42 to 47 mark. Others,
Well,
like we see here,
Rincon and Moore last been on 52 and 51, so they're currently on their 50 and 51st laps.
So
we should be seeing them at any time now.
I think Rincon's coming in now. Maybe.
Looks like he's pulled out of the apron. It's kind of odd why Moore wouldn't go with him.
Well, he was able to save that one extra lap, possibly just riding behind him this stint.
Yeah, but then they're going to be broken up when they come back out, so they're not going to be able to draft each other. So Moore maybe trying to grab an extra point for leading if he hadn't already. He's going to bring it down this time.
Yeah. So you see your top two pit.
See if Judson's going to get his lap back. He does.
Lap 54, 154 to 155 should be when you see Rincon and Moore pit last again. Like I said, some drivers going to need 20 laps of fuel to get to the end. Others only going to need a splash.
And Rincon has regained the lead.
Yeah, with Brandon Moore right in the sights. So 107 of 163 in the books from the 108. There you go. Judson now almost 30 seconds behind Brandon and Rincon.
When coming in, taking fresh tires when he did, he was really able to shrink up the gap down to first and second.
That he did. From a 13-second down to 3.5 seconds. So. A strong run here tonight, boys, by Rincon and Brandon.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Good run indeed by Rincon in that 29 machine. Good to see it.
But whenever he can make it, because he's all the way over on the west coast there of Cali, so guess that's always good to have him. So 51 laps left. They are ticking away.
Caution free as well.
Yeah, we thought we probably would have seen a caution or two in between, but these drivers saved all their slip-ups from preventing them to bring out a caution.
Next week, that final race of the Xfinity Series season for the BNR League is going to be at New Hampshire, Brian. So,
Yeah.
one heck of a place to decide the Xfinity Series champion.
I would have to agree with you. Gloves are off there for those who are duking it out, but like I told those boys before, New Hampshire turns 1 and 2, you do not want to run the bottom. You want to stay anywhere between the middle to high lane. And then 3 and 4, you can get away with running the bottom. So wish those playoff drivers the best of luck next week as their season comes to an end next week. Wish them all the best of luck. But next Tuesday will be the end of the regular season. Then those boys will hit their playoffs in the trucks. So
Yes, that race will be at Richmond, so.
Yeah. All short track racing. Which sometimes can bring good racing. Sometimes it can bring whatever that may be.
Heartbreak.
Yeah, Bobwell and Chris, we see here Judson has closed the gap.
Yeah, somebody's got to explain this to me. This makes no sense. How is a single car closing in multiple second gaps on two people that are running together at a quote plate track?
Well, maybe it's just the way that they built these Xfinity cars, I would say.
This goes against all of the rules of drafting NASCAR. It doesn't make sense.
Unless Judson is just holding a pretty wheel, I guess. Well, now we have a third car in this train here. That is on
these drivers have been able to go over 50 laps each one of their fuel stints. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they're only going about 80%, throttle. They're not probably full throttling it around here.
like Judson.
Like you Well, different driving styles for different folks. So he has made up a lot of time, though, a lot of ground, miraculously, to make his name known up here, have something to doing in the later stages of this race.
Well, next time by will be 42 laps to go.
Still expecting one more pit stop of the evening. Three-car breakaway up at the front, then 22 seconds back to Bradford and Josh Malls. 2 seconds back to Josh, so top five separated by 24 seconds. That is 5 cars on the lead lap this evening. Richard Johns' first car 1 lap down in 6th position. Christopher Campbell 7th, 2 laps down. Joe Stipe making his scheduled pit stop. Should get him home off of here.
Yep, I would say. I'm interested to see when these 3 come down. Who's going to be the first one to come down earlier than
Judson.
That's right, yeah.
Judson pitted on 87, and Redcon and Moore 103, 104.
Tell you what, for bouncing off the wall a few times, he sure's got some speed in
Yeah,
there.
you would have never known that. If you would have told me he bounced off the wall 3 times this race, I would have been like, doesn't look like it to me. He is sitting in a catbird seat, potentially.
A Chevy, Ford, and Yoda, 1, 2, and 3. Oh, Judson got loose, and just like that.
Wow. Slams the wall.
Yes,
Fatality.
well, let's see if he can run him back down, but I don't think he's gonna think that's gonna.
Looks like the air just came off his nose the way Brandon wouldn't quite say made that double move. He's just following Rincon in front of him, so going into the corner, Brandon just kind of went up and down in that high lane, just following Rincon. Nothing really, no different than normal, but just physics taking air on and off the front of the car like that. Could have upset Judson's front end enough to where he didn't like it, or could have just been on how Judson entered the corner as well.
There you go. Very unfortunate for Judson.
Yeah, he driven all the way up there.
He's ever so
That's for
slightly
sure.
coming back. Richard's pitting now. That should be his final pit of the night. Josh Small, Bradford. It looked like they had it coming together, getting onto the pits. Judson's now pitting. Interesting. This could shake some things up. We just don't know yet. We'll see how it turns out for some.
I still think this race at the moment, this is either Rincon's or Moore's race to lose.
Absolutely.
Either one of them could enter pit road just a tick over and get out for speeding. They could kind of take each other out. One could block as the other one goes to make the pass for the win potentially. So ever since that initial round of pit stops, Rincon got in the lead. Moore's just kind of been contently riding behind him, logging these laps, waiting, anticipating,
Waiting
seeing
for the right time.
Yes. Let's see perhaps where his strengths are entering the corner from behind Rincon, because that could be what wins you this race, building up a run to pass the car in front of you. As long as Rincon keeps putting that car in the best position possible in front of Moore, I think Rincon has the best shot at winning this race. Also, that final pit stop of the evening, all about who gets on and off pit road mistake-free and has the best in and out laps of these two.
Oh, yeah. But when this season is done, we are taking, I do believe they said about a month and a half, 2 months off. We'll let everybody spend time with for the holidays and all that great stuff. But Thursday nights, I'm going to say it now, we are bringing in the 87s series on Thursday nights. So if you're interested in running 87s, come on out. We'll get you registered. You'll get the Discord link. Actually, I can probably post it here. And we can put it down in the But we are taking drivers, me and Will and whoever else will probably be up here in the booth when that happens. But the name of that series is going to be Throwback Thursday Madness. Thanks to one of our fellow drivers that came up with the name. I let him choose that. Oh, Mr. Bridgman. So huge shout out to him. A lot of these guys been wanting to push it. So we're going to attempt to do it, and hopefully we get an awesome outcome. I do believe we will. We are going to have a 20-week schedule, I do believe. A variety of tracks, mile and a half, super speedways, and short tracks. Possibly road courses here and there. Not too sure yet, but that'll be determined in about probably middle of next month on how we roll with things like that for the 87 side of things. So it'll be interesting to have a great show of that. You see that Rincon heard a little slippage coming out from the rear of that 29 Chevy Camaro there. So Will and Chris ever so slightly closing in on that 25 lap mark. So we'll have to wait and see.
Right. My bad.
No, you are absolutely fine. But right there, 25 laps to go here tonight in the BNR Xfinity Series from the Atlanta 205. From Will, Brian, and Chris, we thank you guys for coming in. Now you guys get to enjoy the last 25 laps of this race to see how the leaders shake things out and who's going to pull in a victory lane between these two, because obviously Will and Chris, we see P3 is 1 lap down, 4 and 5, 6 is 2 laps down, so they could possibly get one of their laps back. So we'll just have to wait and see how this shindig shakes up and how it all goes. See there, Joe Stipe gets loose on the inside there. Great save by that 98 machine.
Yeah, he hit the apron, really upset the front of the car, and took him for a wild ride up the hill and snapped on him once it flattened out and able to correct it and save it. So good catch for Joe. Here comes the pairing of Bradford and Smalls to get one of their laps back.
Oof. Oh, Brandon got loose. There it is. And Rincon's pitting. Oof. Boy, that was scary, scary, scary. That's for sure. Will and Chris, that could have been also a tremendous impact for the 47 and 29. So
yeah, could have been a lot worse. Brandon kind of fenced it there a little bit.
oh, Joe
A little
gets
bit of
loose
right
again.
side damage on the right side of that machine. So
Well, be interesting to see when Moore decides to hit.
Ooh, Rincon 1 lap down. Judson right in the traps there. Bradford, Josh. But Judson's now back in the pits again.
I think this lap would be when Moore pits.
Wonder what happened to Judson.
My math calculations are correct. Moore should be able to make it just inside the top 10, if not to the finish. 10 to go, I mean.
That'd be awful risky, though, even still staying out that ever much longer, even though Rincon, the person you're kind of battling with, is already pitted. Rincon's going to be able to make up a little bit of ground, you would think, with that fresher tire.
Coming to 18 laps to go. Now all it takes is for one of these two to slip up in front of Brandon and take Brandon with him. So hopefully that is not the case, and they can keep it the way it's going. Ha. This will also be a cutoff race. And round 3 of the Cup. Oh yeah. But Brandon Moore coming to 16 to go. Yes, sir.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
What were you going to say, Chris?
I thought you said what, but you said thought.
Oh.
If I'm Brandon, I'm pitting within the next 2 laps. Well, I don't know, because Rincon still has to go back around the track. But now Brandon just got to hope that he don't get caught speeding.
Yeah, I'd be fitting awful soon here.
You see Josh up there. Try not to give Brandon much of a pull as he would like. But yet again, following that Bradford line, him and Bradford has worked very well. But now those two are starting to get a little loosey-goosey in front of Brandon. $13 to go here tonight. As Brandon takes that 12 to go mark right now, as he's still behind Josh and Bradford, doing everything he can to save a little bit more. Each and every lap. Oh, as Bradford clocks the wall. Oof, that's gonna hurt.
It's more than likely a code brown moment for the followers behind Bradford.
Especially more.
Oh, yes.
Next time by will be 10 laps to go. Now listen, if I'm Josh, I am pulling up and I am tapping the brake to let Brandon go on by. Or just get loose in front of him like that.
Yes, collect him in the wreck.
The anticipation is killing me. When is he gonna pit? We know he's got to do it.
If it's Brandon, he'll do everything he can to save exactly enough to get to the end. And if he does, God bless him, but I don't think he's gonna. He'll probably come in for at least a splash and go, if anything. So, but like I said, that could hurt because Rincon on the freshy tires. So.
Where's Rincon at on the track currently?
He is 14.5 seconds back.
Right on the back stretch, and they're just going into 3 and 4. Or coming out of 3 and 4.
Hopefully for more sake that Rincon hasn't been able to make up enough time
On those fresh tires.
Oh, Bradford gets loose again.
like Moore's going to pit this time. Yeah. There it goes. Rincon goes by, getting his lap back.
Well, boys, is Rincon going to have enough? Yeah, Brandon Moore just took a splash of fuel.
It's fuel.
I'm going to say that it's probably going to hurt him. Yet again, we don't know. Because that lap time is ticking down pretty quick. So ain't quite sure if Rincon can get there. We'll just have to wait and see.
Bradford gets loose again.
So currently, first and second place, one are on the same lap, on the lead lap. Only cars left on the lead lap. Take that back. I think Josh might have got around as well.
Yeah.
So second and third on the lead lap. Got to remember, don't believe Brandon took any fresh tires.
So that's a Rincon right back there. Now you won't be able to see it yet, but that's Rincon right back there. That's
Cars in the flying.
yeah. So it is going to be close if Rincon can get to him. I don't think he can.
I don't think he can either. 4 laps to go. Just don't see that happening.
All Brandon Moore has to do is just throw down 4 clean laps, make it 3 this time by.
Brandon's now pulling back on Rincon.
Rincon's not really closing that gap anyways.
No. Next time by, guys, will be the white flag.
I do believe Brandon Moore looking to sweep Atlanta this season in the BNR Xfinity Series, and he will win tonight, this evening as well. So
Poor Joe.
Going to come home second. Josh Moe gets third place this evening. Bradford fourth, Richard Johns fifth, Joe Stipe sixth, and Judson seventh, Christopher Campbell eighth, Philip Bridgman ninth, and Samuel Archibald is coming out field here, 10th place. So 6 cars finished.
Good run by B. That's for sure. Very unfortunate for Judson. Go ahead.
Judson ends up in 7th.
Yep. So we'll go ahead and talk to old Josh.
Alright, fellas. Wow. Appreciate you having me here with you tonight, but it's my time to bow out.
Alright, Chris. It's on to have you.
Alright. Talk to you later, guys.
Yep. Mr. Smalls.
Hey.
Well, that was a very long race, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. I figured we'd add way more cautions than that. There was a lot of battling going on, at least between me and my teammate. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no cautions this evening, Josh. Whole 163 laps, 2 laps, 3 laps of caution-free race this evening. Had a couple of scary moments, but no caution ever came of it. So able to almost turn into a race of attrition.
Yeah.
And you just kind of... Yes, go ahead, Josh. Go ahead. Help me out here. Go ahead.
I struggled, man. Earlier on in the runs, the tires were great. The cars were setting, and you could put it wherever you want it. You get probably 15, 18 laps in, and the cars would start slipping and sliding. I don't know what the track temp was. I do believe it was yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I knew track temp was going to be an issue. Some of the guys they were talking about in team chats that they wish it was a night race, so that way we could have had some pack racing. I know we had some connection issues with a couple drivers early on, but I mean, like I said, early on in the run, the cars were great. But late in the runs, which I knew tire wear was going to be an issue, because it always is. That's not good. But it's... it was a handful. It was a lot of fun. I know when you're pitting, you're going 2 laps down. I tried to use a pit strategy there to cut it in half, but I gained a little bit of time. It just I couldn't capitalize at the end there. I mean, I was holding speed. I don't know where Brandon got his rocket ship from, but he was able to save. He's always been like that. He's a hard driver to run down, but it was fun battling my teammate and Judson there for the first half of the race. It was just, P3, I'll take it, man. But it's just, I'd like to see more racing. I think it would have been a different outcome if we'd had some pack racing. But I like when fields get spread out. You see different strategies, and you see people trying to work together to gain, to the position in front of them. But it wasn't a bad race at all. It was just hot and sticky and slippery.
Yes, I agree with everything you said. Maybe if the track temp wasn't as hot, could have been a more condensed field, more packy. But we did see some pack racing going on, and then just had a couple of drivers just wham into the wall and kind of lost them here and there. But they were able to regroup and just eventually stuff happened to him later on in the race as well. But next week's New Hampshire, final race of the Xfinity Series this season. What's the thoughts and kind of mindset going to New Hampshire there, Josh?
Hopefully I can save the brakes. Turn one used to be my nemesis there. Now it's 3 and 4. I seem to do better in 1 and 2. I haven't ran laps there this week. I did run laps there a couple weeks ago, running a different series. It's changed a little bit since the update, but I'm hoping if I can not lock the brakes up and save the tires, I could possibly bring some competition to the Final Four matchup. But I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, whoever's in the Final Four, man, they're all hard guys to compete against, and you never know what's going to happen until the drop of the checkered flag. I mean, because you can be doing good and then finish bad, and you can be doing bad early and finish good. That's the way it's been all season. So it all depends on how the racing goes throughout the race.
Exactly, Josh. Well, congratulations here tonight at Atlanta on that podium finish, P3. Good run for you tonight. Hopefully next week in New Hampshire, the final race, you can gather up another good finish. And got some more truck races to go, so still have that going, and just a couple of more cup races, I do believe, but still, nevertheless, have a little bit more racing to go. So keep the momentum up there, and best of luck to you, Josh. Thanks for talking to us. Got any shout-outs you want to go?
Yeah, thanks, Brian, for putting it on, and the old Roy's RV from back home for letting me run her name for him, and hopefully Dad's watching. Hello, Dad. Brian, make sure you say hello to Dad, because if not, he's going to be mad at both of us. But, I'm going to try to ride it out, keep my momentum going, and, see where I can end up. Hopefully I can have a good finish.
Hello, Josh's dad. If you're watching. Well, yes, sir. Congratulations on the P3. This has actually been one of your dominant tracks, or at least one of them, compared to the others. You've always finished pretty well here, but best of luck to you in the season finale next week. And just like Will said, you still got a little bit more racing in trucks, and we're coming to just about the end in the cup side of things in about five weeks over there. So best of luck to you in those 2 series, and congratulations on the podium.
Thank you, I appreciate it, and I'll do my best to get another one in the other series, hopefully, and we'll talk to y'all again.
Yes, sir. Get your bag up there. Boom, boom. So I don't have Rincon, so we'll go ahead and talk to B Moore. Brandon Moore.
What's going on, buddy?
Well, second Atlanta capture here from the first time.
Hell yeah.
This race was yours and Rincon's ordeal. So, congratulations on the win here tonight, and we'll let Will take it away.
Yes, like what Brian said, congratulations on the win here tonight, Brandon. Kind of looked like once you and Rincon got separated from everybody else, you and him just kind of, in a way, took turns leading. He led, I would think, the majority of the laps here tonight, but you were just kind of satisfied and content to riding behind him. We knew everybody was going to have to make that final pit stop, and you took it as long as you could take it and only had to get a splash of gas. Very smart move to go there.
There's some good pit strategy there.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. Not really a big turnout tonight, only 10 drivers, so that meant, pretty much you could have took it easy, but very slick track as well, so the race
kind of loose, yeah. It's a little slick.
So, just tell us.
I want to thank Josh for helping me, to be honest. Josh not pulling over helped me out tremendously, because I had to help with the draft, and I was pulling faster lap times, and he wasn't making any ground on the tires.
So, What was your overall thoughts of the race tonight? Caution free tonight as well, Brandon.
This race went exactly opposite of how I figured it was going to go. To be honest, no one would have thought that you're going to get strung out and you're going to have groups of people that's running 2 to 3 cars per pack or even solo. And yeah, it was kind of calm, very calm. So we just pulled a good strategy and just took advantage of it.
Yes, indeed, you did. Pretty much one of the dominant, or at least one of the cars that you thought was going to be there at the end. And you said going into the race, hey, I'm just going to ride around in the back or just lug the laps. And apparently riding around in the back was only in second place, so not too bad of a back to be in, I guess.
Yeah.
Next week is New Hampshire for the Final Four in the Xfinity Series. What's your thoughts and mindset kind of going into New Hampshire there next week?
I like New Hampshire. New Hampshire has a very fast track. It's got a lot of short track characteristics in the corners. It takes a lot of throttle and brake discipline, keeping the right front on it and the right rear as well. It should make for an interesting championship race.
I do agree with that as well, that sentiment there about New Hampshire. Got to be very disciplined with the throttle, and like you said as well with the brake, got to be very technical in the corners at times. So
the race will be won on the corner exit.
Yes, I believe that as well. Do you have anything else to add about tonight's race, or any shout-outs you'd love to give there, Brandon?
I mean, just the usual feel. Just thank everybody who came out to watch. Thank all the competitors. Thank the broadcast booth, and celebrate another win. And maybe we get us another one at New Hampshire and call it a championship. That'd be cool. But if not, we had a very successful year. We'll be happy either way.
Congratulations again on the win, Brandon, and thanks for talking to us tonight. Have fun celebrating this win.
Hell yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Well, that is going to conclude our broadcast night. Sorry, the dogs were going crazy out there. That is going to conclude the broadcast here tonight from the BNR Xfinity Series from Atlanta. Next week will be their season finale at New Hampshire. So I would like to thank myself, Brian Hunt, my partner over here, Mr. Will Roberts, which you can catch him Saturday night with Chris. Thanks to Chris too for coming on out, helping out on the 1-5 Studios broadcast on YouTube over there. You get to hear the wonderful commentary from Chris and Will. So from myself and from Will, we thank you guys ever so dearly to come out to watch the show with us. And